What's up guys, welcome back from the Yugioh Pro Duel video. A new World Legacy / World Chalice Link monster was revealed yesterday from Link Vrains Pack 3. I'm sure that pretty much everyone already has seen the card, but it's quite of an okay card. It's a great extender, I guess, for a World Chalice / World Legacy. You know, the pure deck, right? But again, the extra deck of that particular deck is so tight. I mean, I'm not really sure if the deck can find space for that. Probably. She's a nice extender. I opt to go for the other route, and I think the other okay route to play this new card, your lip, is MEKK-Knights. And I think, or I guess you'd do her more justice if it's like pure MEKK-Knights, since she has some form of, well, she has some restrictions. Even though, well, you can only special summon her, you know, link summon her, which by the way is very easy. You only need 2 monsters, so again, you can't get it more easy than that, or easier than that. Again, upon link summon, you can search any World Legacy spell or trap from your deck and add it to your hand. So here in this particular deck, that's either memory, you know, well, you have to set it right. That's quite important. You can search memory or the trap card. And you know, the trap card, the monster reborn for MEKK-Knights, that can potentially negate monster effects as well, if you know, like the MEKK-Knights is in the same column. So those two are currently the main targets here for the deck. But again, as I mentioned before, I guess you get like more targets, more searches out of her if you're playing maybe like a pure MEKK-Knight variant, which is definitely, well, it can be better, I guess, than you know, like a lot of downsides of MEKK-Knight Invoked. But I personally prefer the Invoked deck, or the Invoked hybrid. That is, it's my personal, or what is one of my personal favorites. It's something different, I guess. So anyway, the deck obviously wants to go second. Oh, the deck definitely wants to go second. It's a superb deck, by the way, to go second. I mean, it devours, like, going second against Salamangreats, Thunders against Orcust as well. Definitely all good matchups because of the mind control, the instant fusion, etc. So anyway, of course the Impermanence is going to negate the Invoker. Sadly, the Millennium Ice Restrict's not going to negate it. And also one of the reasons why I eventually dropped the Millennium Ice Restrict from my extra deck. And then again, the extra deck's quite tight, as you have seen here in the side deck. There are a couple of cards that should be in the extra deck, like the Vrains, a card that I missed a couple of times in my test duels. Unicorn as well, since again, the new lip, the new World Chalice, is a link too, and she also has a second effect, by the way. So if you lose up, at least if you use her for a link summon, it's basically a unicorn, so a nightmare unicorn. So bounce something back from your opponent back to the deck. So that's quite good. But again, yeah, her being like a link 2 kinda, well, facilitates a potential link 3 into unicorn, and then again that could potentially bounce back to like bounce like 2 cards from your opponent back to the deck. So again, something I probably should put in the extra deck as well. So anyway, yeah, must be nice here, not reading the, what is it called, the MEKK-Knight link. Ah, you know which one I mean. I mean, there's only one, but, you know, like, if I'm not mistaken, the monsters cannot be destroyed. Yeah, indeed, yeah, the monsters cannot be destroyed, or MEKK-Knight monsters cannot be destroyed if they are not in the same column as the monster they are battling with. And, yeah, again, just reading kinda helps, but that's how it is. Everyone makes mistakes against those cards, right? And I get why they aren't really, common, I guess, like who's playing MEKK-Knights. A couple of players, but you know, those are mostly the more dedicated players. So anyway, not at least in these particular duels, I wasn't playing Boreload in the extra deck, but of course the Blackluster link is there, which is like an instant choice here against Thunders, right? I mean, not being able to be targeted, and of course the one of Banish effect, and the attack increase was needed. You know, like just give it like a huge attack, cannot be destroyed by card effects, right? Cannot be targeted, so that's very sweet. Phantasma is, of course, you know, it's a huge staple for the deck. Replenishes your hand, giving the extra draws. Going second, it's a fantastic card, and it's basically an extra plus on your side of the field to facilitate the link summons, like the Alistair link, maybe the Ip link, you know, the new World Chalice link. But again, yeah, you need at least one World Legacy card in your graveyard, and that's not that hard. I mean, there is also the option, let's say, if you're using Alistair, you know, like Fusion Summon, discard something, and then that potentially this card can be your memories. Since again, memories or memory. MEKK-Knight memory has like that restriction that as soon as you use your quick play MEKK-Knight spell, you're forced into MEKK-Knight summons for the rest of the turn. So that's a small downside. And again, if you're going for memory to get like a World Legacy card in your graveyard, you can't go for the new World Chalice Link again, since you're forced for a MEKK-Knight. So that's a small downside, but I guess it's okay if you're surviving, or if you survive and during your next turn you can potentially go for an IP as well, bounce stuff back from your opponent, potentially push for a game, or if it's not game, you know, you're able to search out a trap card and bounce something back. Anyway, so Nibiru again comes in very nicely. This should be game, I think. I mean, that's MEKK-Knight Invoked, right? It's so easy to go for the OTK with this particular deck. Again, it's just child's play, and the fact that you're running triple Mind Control is also one of those cards that I might see go to 2, maybe 2-1, since it's such a strange and powerful card. I believe at some point it was limited, or was semi-limited, not really sure. I think post-Teledad era, but again, it's mind-blowing that such a card is still at 3. Especially because, you know, like everyone is, or at least most decks are playing it. Because of the most obvious reasons, right? Against Orcus, just go for Dingers who get, you know, like gain control of your opponent's Orcus monsters, etc. So anyway, so okay, the opening hand, well, it's like, this probably could have been game if it wasn't for the Impermanence top deck, so Impermanence on the Winda indeed. So I'm definitely still live in a duel, and okay, had the field spell, so now I can potentially get the invoked engine running. Try to get it for the null zone, you know, try to get the search going for Almirage as well. Yeah, Linkuriboh might also be like a main deck or extra deck spot, but again, no space. Linkuriboh only, you know, viable after, let's say, 1000 Ice Restrict Summon, so instant fusion, I guess. Here is, okay, so I go for Lip, you search at the trap card, and I was like, well, I need to keep like a monster in my hand, an effect monster, so I can prevent the, is it Skeleton in the graveyard from activating, right, and special summoning something. And I eventually again, mistake on my part, to use the MEKK-Knight Link, you know, discard something, search something, which again doesn't really make sense. I mean, if I would, at least if I could have negated the Skeleton special summon, and, well, Skeleton banish, right, and special summon, prevent the Agility to hit the field, the things would be much easier, but that's how it is. Small mistake on my part. Well, big mistake on my part, since, like, there's now a huge difference here between both, you know, like, decks, I guess. Anyway, so getting the trap card, of course, is going to Reborn. One of the MEKK-Knight's monsters, right? It's going to switch places here with the MEKK-Knight Link, but in the long run it's not going to matter too much. The, well, Cyclone one turn too late, but better late than never, I guess. There is still a potential game move here if he makes a mistake. So, well, yeah, that's already counting in the Ash Blossom here on the Alistair. So we're going for the Link 4, and I think this could have been game exactly. Yeah, indeed, he's at 3k, so he would have used, or if he used the Ingrisu, you know, protection, I definitely could have gone for exactly another 3k damage. But nope, that's not the case, and yeah, Instant Fusion is eventually going to lead to game. So the small mistake on my part a couple of moments ago definitely cost me the duel, right? So anyway, last example, going second again, the deck one definitely wants to go second against Salamangreats, and Salads is definitely a solid matchup. I'm only playing one of the Purgatrio in the extra deck, might be a 2-off, maybe side deck, I guess, well, maybe, against something like Salads, but just fine, one is fine as well, you know, not really sure if I have the space to get it in. So anyway, as I mentioned, going second is superb. Instant Fusion, Mind Control, the Ash Blossom is nicely forced out here to prevent the double draw from Blue Sky, I believe the name is. And now I can just eventually wreck as well, going for the Boral Sword and Purgatrio. So no IP shenanigans, but well, it's not really a card that, you know, it's generic, but it's not generic. I mean, if that makes sense, you need to control, or you need to have a World Legacy card in your graveyard, and that's not really the standard for this deck. That's what I wanted to mention. But it's a nice extender. It could be a nice card, bounce something back, getting another search, secure some plays during your next turn. So I definitely like this card. It might be a bit better, or it might like do more stuff in maybe pure MEKK-Knights as well, and of course World Chalice or World Legacy deck, but in pure MEKK-Knight, this card might shine a little more. So again, like always, feel free to leave suggestions for the deck. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.